Hello and welcome to a video in my series of one patch method quit smoking videos. So the point, I've got a Coke Zero. It's not very good for you, but that's something I'm working on. Anyway, the point I'm going to make today is that you make your own rules. Everyone has their own path through life, and uh, you've got to not let anyone tell you whether you're doing right or wrong. It's your life. What I was thinking about was someone on the internet said they quit cold turkey by switching to vaping, and that wound me up a bit because to me, cold turkey means you stop the drug altogether suddenly and then go straight to zero. That's why they call it cold turkey. It's not just quitting; it's quitting all of a sudden. But that's what I think. If you think differently, you have your own rules, but I mean, there is the English language. These things are kind of settings. These things do have meaning, but it's not about. Uh, it can be about lines in the sand where you have your own rules. Like you might say, "I'm never drinking again," and then that's it. I mean, that's what it was for me. I don't drink anymore, and you should be trying to set a good example for the people in your life, older than you, your same age as you, and younger than you, all the people in your life. It's good to set a good example, but don't let anyone tell you what you're doing is the wrong way. You know, you've got people like Alan Carr says, throw away all the tobacco products in your house or give them away before you quit. And then there's Gillian something or other, I think her name is, says keep a packet of cigarettes on you at all times. You know, there's no one way of doing this. You've got to find your own, how do I, your own way. Uh, but it's a serious point. If you have a slip up, you can still say I've quit for 10 years. It's it's if it's what you tell yourself in your head that's important. What other people think doesn't matter, and of course, it's not the truth. So you can explain that if you're in a court situation or something. I don't know. In general, I'm quite an honest person, as most of my friends know. But but life isn't simple. It's not just I quit this, I stopped doing that, I'm never doing this again, or I drink more than anyone else in the world, or anything like this. Life is, uh, don't let anyone make your rules for you. You have your own rules. Don't listen to anyone else. I mean, my one patch method is just a method. It's failed for me several times. I'm wearing a patch now, and it worked for me once when I was in hospital. I just had one patch. They didn't give me any more patches, so I left the patch on, and I was cigarette free for several days in hospital. I don't know what they were giving me, so maybe they had some secret formula or something. I don't know. But when you make mistakes, that's when you have slip ups, call it whatever you want to call it, and just continue. I mean, the simple fact is smoking is bad, but then there's different aspects to that, like smoking can improve concentration. These things are factual, but your life isn't so simple that it can be described in simple facts. To say I quit smoking 10 years ago, well, you might have had the occasional one, but yes, you still, to summarize it in a simple way, it's perfectly fine to say I quit smoking 10 years ago. If you if you say I quit cold turkey, but you switch to vaping, it's not my business to say otherwise. It's not a court of law, and if that gets you through life in a happy way, isn't that all that matters? But I mean, oh dear, excuse me. My personal standpoint, if anyone is interested, which they're not because these videos get so few views, but my personal viewpoint on vaping is that it's quite bad, and I prefer to have the patches and the occasional cigarettes. I've had maybe 10 cigarettes today. Well, it's only quarter past midnight, but I mean yesterday. So I don't know if that's a cogent or coherent point. Just you have to stick to your own rules. I mean, you can break your own rules. You don't have to stick to your own rules. Uh, but don't let anyone tell you you're doing things the wrong way because, as as Annie Grace says, you're doing what is best for you with the tools that you have at your disposal at the present time, whatever moment in time that might be. So I, for one, I've got my rolling paper. I've thrown away most of my other ones. There's some in the car, but I'll throw them away later. So I'll roll this, and I've got the patch on. So this is just my method. You can use your own methods. You can quit cold turkey, or you can say you're quitting cold turkey and switch to vaping. Uh, and I will think less of you if you say that, because it's your life, you know. So I won't really, but whatever's best for you is the important thing. I'm just going to make this without a filter for a change. So with the one patch method, seeing as I've got the patch on and I've just put the patch on about half an hour ago, this hopefully will not have a huge effect on me. And then that'll give my brain the trick that I don't need to smoke or I don't enjoy smoking in the same way that varenicline does and Tabex does. If you take varenicline and Tabex, then smoking is absolutely pointless. It's for when you're used to smoking and getting the drug, I suppose. Then it's really quite jarring when you have a cigarette and it has absolutely no effect. If you ever use varenicline or Tabex, let me know what you think of it. It didn't work for me because I was desperately smoking, trying to get the pleasure from it. If you do get pleasure, it's a short term pleasure, but it is, it's a. I think it's hard to deny that you get some pleasure from smoking, even though Alan Carr in his books says you don't get any pleasure. But Alan Carr would say it's like the pleasure of taking off a pair of shoes that are too tight if he was still alive. But that's still a pleasure. And but uh, Kevin O'Hara, I recommend his videos, would say, I forgot what I was saying now. He would say it's instant gratification. This is really hard to roll. These papers, these licorice papers. So hopefully, I mean, I'm not going to say I'm never going to smoke again because I think that's the wrong attitude. But I'll go for the rest of the night. And then the crucial thing is the morning. So if I what I usually do is get to the night time and I think, oh dear, I'm a bit gassy. I get to the night time and I think the patch is kind of. Uh, this is where I'm kind of making these videos for my own benefit a little bit, but because I'm thinking things through. I think to myself at night, it's bad to have a patch on at night because it affects your heart and everything, affects your cardiovascular system. What does vascular mean? I think it means tubes or something. I think I did look it up, but I've forgotten. Um, so I take the patch off, and then in the morning, I've forgotten about my resolve, uh, my motivation, and I just go to the shop. It's happened 200 times. I quit at night, and then I wake up, and I go to the shop and buy some new stuff to smoke. I'm not talking about cannabis or anything like that. I'm just talking about tobacco, as I've mentioned before. But yeah, I have quit alcohol, and I don't miss it somehow. Uh, I have had if I sometimes want a 0% beer that suits me down to the ground. I find it quite nice, but even 0% beer gives me headaches for some reason. So what I might do is see if I've got any of the old herbal tobacco, just for when I fancy sitting outside and smoking something. That herbal tobacco really smells bad, but uh, maybe after a couple of months of being quit, I'll find the temptation is there to just sit down somewhere and relax with something to smoke, a bit of glue or something, whatever they use on it. So I'll just use the herbal tobacco, the drug-free tobacco, but it does have an effect. It kind of makes your dreams go more vivid. It's a bit weird, that stuff. But there's different varieties. I used to smoke that before I started smoking nicotine. Before I started smoking tobacco, I used to smoke herbal tobacco, and it was a bit embarrassing because everyone who tried it, who smoked, said it was really unpleasant, and everyone who smelled it thought it was quite unpleasant too. It was a sort of gateway for me because I that's how I learned to roll cigarettes, and but maybe that's a sort of gateway back into not smoking at all. Maybe I'll go in reverse in that direction. Anyway, I've gone on too long, so the key thing I wanted to say was, forge your own path. Don't let anyone say you're doing the wrong thing. If they do say that, there's no arguing with some people. I mean, with me and the cold turkey thing, I know I'm right. But if you want to believe that you can believe whatever you want, and that's the key thing. Stick to your guns if it's heading in the right direction. But that's not to say you don't listen to people. Oh, excuse me. Okay, thanks very much. Bye.